There are days when air traffic control just won't leave you alone to fly the route as you planned it. Let's look at how we can use the CDU to comply with ATC instructions. Since the Legs page lists the flight plan's waypoints in the order they will be flown, this is the page used for route modifications. To comply with this clearance, we need to delete Red Bluff from the route. Use the Delete key to delete Red Bluff. Execute the modification. Any waypoint except the active waypoint can be deleted with the Delete key. When deleting a waypoint, the FMC always inserts a route discontinuity in place of the deleted waypoint. A route discontinuity is merely two route segments that are not connected. After passing Rogue Valley, there is no FMC course guidance. The airplane continues straight ahead after Rogue Valley unless the discontinuity is solved. Oakland is the desired waypoint after Rogue Valley. Therefore, to comply with the clearance and solve the discontinuity, insert Oakland after Rogue Valley. Execute the modification. The discontinuity is now solved and course guidance is provided after Rogue Valley. All of the waypoints below Oakland move up in the list and maintain the same relative position. With this clearance, Red Bluff is the desired waypoint after Rogue Valley. Insert Red Bluff on the line after Rogue Valley. Touch the highlighted key. Inserting a new waypoint creates a route discontinuity in the same way as deleting waypoints. This time, let's solve the discontinuity before executing. Oakland is the desired waypoint after Red Bluff. Now, execute the modification. The waypoints below Oakland in the list move up the same way as before. Waypoints are deleted one at a time with the Delete key, and the resulting discontinuity must be solved. When multiple waypoints must be deleted, there is an easier way. Oakland is the desired active waypoint. Simply move Oakland up the list to the active waypoint line. Both Rogue Valley and Red Bluff are bypassed and removed from the route. The waypoints below Oakland move up. Note that this method of bypassing waypoints rather than deleting them avoids a route discontinuity. At times, it may be necessary to know when we pass a beam of bypassed waypoints. Pushing a beam points before executing creates a beam waypoints for each bypassed waypoint. Push a beam points now. Selected appears when the abeam points are created. Now, execute the modification. The abeam waypoints now appear as part of the active route. The FMC assigns sequence numbers to created waypoints. Numbers are assigned in sequence, beginning with 01. Once a number is used, it is not used again for the rest of the flight, even if the waypoint is deleted from the route. To comply with this clearance, enter CATSO after Rogue Valley. Touch the highlighted key. Sometimes our clearance includes a geographic location that is not in the FMC database. When this happens, The message "Not in database" displays. Clear the scratch pad message and clear CATSO. Waypoints not in the FMC database can be created by reference to other FMC waypoints. Three types of references are possible. The first is the place bearing distance waypoint. The second reference is the place bearing waypoint. The third type of reference, the along track waypoint, will be discussed later in this lesson. Now, let's return to the example for CATSO. We see from our aeronautical chart that CATSO is located on the 080 radial of the Sacramento VOR at 49 nautical miles. Create a place bearing distance waypoint for CATSO and enter the waypoint into the route after Rogue Valley. Remember to separate the bearing and distance numbers with a slash. The scratch pad is incorrect. Enter the data as shown and select the correct key. If the waypoint identifier used is not unique, the page Select Desired Waypoint displays. In this example, the page contains the latitude and longitude of all waypoints having the entered identifier SAC. Push the left line select key for the waypoint with the desired latitude and longitude. The FMC assigns a sequence number to this created waypoint in the same manner as the ABEAM waypoints in an earlier example. Erase the modification. From our chart, we see that CATSO is also defined as the intersection of the Sacramento 080 radial and the Linden 029 radial. Create a place-bearing waypoint for CATSO by entering the Sacramento VOR and radial, followed by the Linden VOR and radial. Again, remember to use a slash to separate the two parameters. The scratch pad is incorrect. 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 Enter the data as shown and select the correct key. The FMC abbreviates this created waypoint in the same manner as the previous place-bearing distance waypoint. If the order of entry of the identifiers and bearings is reversed, the FMC uses the first identifier entered to identify the waypoint. Erase the modification. Now let's discuss the along track waypoint. This type of waypoint differs from the two previous types in that the reference waypoint must be part of the current active route. For along track waypoints occurring after the reference waypoint, enter the reference waypoint into the scratch pad, followed by a slash and the distance after the reference waypoint. For along track waypoints occurring before the reference waypoint, place a minus sign in front of the distance. Always enter an along track waypoint on the same line as the reference waypoint. The minus sign, or no sign, tells the FMC which direction from the reference waypoint is the correct position in the list. Now, enter this along track waypoint. Previously, you saw that entering new route waypoints created a route discontinuity. However, since along track waypoints are part of the existing flight plan, a discontinuity is not created. Execute the modification. When flying over large bodies of water, the only waypoints available are defined by latitude and longitude. To create waypoints with latitude and longitude, the latitude and longitude is entered into the scratch pad and then entered into the waypoint list on the correct line, just as with other waypoints. To demonstrate this, let's solve this route discontinuity by entering the latitude and longitude for Oakland into the correct line. Enter the data as shown and select the correct key. For latitude and longitude waypoints, the FMC assigns a 7-character format using the first 2 digits of the latitude and the first 3 digits of the longitude. The FMC does not recognize this latitude and longitude waypoint as being the same place as Oakland. A route discontinuity is inserted as with any other new waypoint. The desired waypoint after Oakland is Avenal. Solve the discontinuity. Enter the data as shown and select the correct key. Execute the modification. During long ocean crossings, you may want to mark where your route crosses longitude lines. ATC has requested you report at west 144 degrees. West 144 degrees crosses the flight plan between waypoints Happy and Hiccup. The waypoint west 144 may be entered in the flight plan anywhere prior to Hiccup. So you could enter the reporting point in any of these 3 lines. The FMC then figures out where the waypoint belongs. A good technique is to always enter the waypoint into the active waypoint line. Enter west 144 and then execute. The FMC has calculated and entered the waypoint into your flight plan between Happy and Hiccup. There is another feature of latitude-longitude reporting points. So delete waypoint west 144 and execute before going on. Enter the data as shown and select the correct key. The clearance may be to report at multiple points spaced by equal number of degrees. Enter W144-4 to make the FMC compute waypoints every 4 degrees. The FMC has calculated all the longitude waypoints that intersect the flight plan route. Latitude reporting points are entered the same as longitude reporting points. ATC has instructed us to fly direct to Lakeview. To create a course direct to Lakeview, enter Lakeview into the active waypoint line. The FMC computed direct course to Lakeview displays over Lakeview. Now solve the route discontinuity. There may be times when we want to keep a copy of the unmodified route. Pushing the route copy key before executing copies the active unmodified route into the inactive route. Copy the active route into the inactive route. Complete displays when the copy operation is complete. Previous inactive route data is erased. Now execute the modification. ATC has now instructed us to intercept and fly a course other than a direct course to Lakeview to avoid weather. To comply with this clearance, we begin by turning to a heading of 120 degrees using Heading Select. Next, enter Lakeview on the active waypoint line as before, as if going direct to Lakeview. The FMC computed direct course is displayed over Lakeview as before. However, this time the direct course must be modified to the required intercept course before executing. Since our clearance refers to the 350-degree radial of Lakeview, the desired intercept course to Lakeview is 170 degrees, the reciprocal of the radial. Enter the course on the Intercept Course 2 line. The Intercept course now displays over Lakeview and on the Intercept Course 2 line. Now solve the discontinuity. Enter the data as shown and select the correct key. Execute the modification. After execution, don't forget to rearm LNAV to capture the intercept course. This clearance can be entered as a course from present position. Enter P/P followed by the desired course into the active waypoint line. Touch the highlighted key. Make the modification active. The active waypoint line displays the course you entered. The airplane follows this course until you proceed direct to a waypoint. One way to solve the discontinuity is to proceed direct to any flight plan waypoint. Another way to solve the discontinuity is to connect the flight plan route with the course you just entered. Note, the entered course crosses the flight plan route on the jet airway between Lakeview and Red Bluff. Enter Red Bluff into the route discontinuity boxes. The FMC creates a waypoint at the point where the course intercepts the flight plan route. Make the modification active. The airplane will fly along the entered course and then intercept the flight plan route. Similar to the course intercept from present position, the FMC can also intercept courses outbound from waypoints. Type the waypoint name followed by the desired outbound course into the active waypoint. Enter the clearance as a course outbound from a waypoint. Enter the data as shown and select the correct key. The outbound course can be changed until you execute. The active waypoint line displays the course you entered. Make the modification active. The airplane is not on an intercept heading to the desired course. Use Heading or Track Select to turn the airplane to a heading that intercepts the desired course, and then re-engage LNAV. Previously, you cleared the discontinuity by intercepting the flight plan route. Another way is to change the active waypoint. Enter this clearance. Touch the highlighted key. Touch a topic to review it. Touch the green arrow to continue with the lesson. Normally, in-flight modifications to the route are made on the route legs pages. However, the route pages can be used for some in-flight modifications. Select the route page. In flight, pushing the route key always displays route page 2. On the ground, it displays route page 1. To add this route segment, begin by entering Lakeview on top of Avenal in the first 2 line. Enter the data as shown and select the correct key. The FMC assumes the route segment is direct. If the clearance includes an airway, it must be manually entered here. Now enter Red Bluff in the line after Lakeview. Execute the modification. Route segments on the route page are bypassed similar to bypassing waypoints on the route legs pages. Comply with this clearance. Touch the highlighted key. Execute the modification. Another feature of the route page is the ability to intercept airways. Enter the airway into line 1. Enter the termination point of the airway raise. Make the modification active. The message "Not on Intercept Heading" displays if the airplane is not on a heading to the first route segment of the airway. The airplane must cross the airway along the first route segment for the FMC to continue updating the flight plan. If you plan to cross the airway somewhere else, you must create an intercept course to the appropriate waypoint on the route legs page to get FMC updating.